Hello there, I'm Nick Collard, Partner Manager here at Formpipe. In this session, I want to showcase some of the functionality contained in the latest release of Lasernet connector for Business Central. Topically, I'll also cover how we can adhere to the new EU directive for electronic invoicing without customer coding or support from your partner. Let's get into it. So in this demonstration, I want to show you how easy it is by use of the Lasernet connector to extend an existing report to include a non-standard field. So if we go into the setup for the Lasernet connector, and in my case, I want to create a new document layout containing this additional non-standard field. So if we give this an item number of 2, and let's give this a meaningful name of sales order, and then select the relating sales order document type. With Lasernet, we have this handy little button called Suggest, and what that does is load all of the related tables to the sales order. From here, I can go down to the field section, and in my case, what I want to do is add the quantity to invoice. So the quantity to invoice wasn't included in the standard out-of-the-box report. I click OK, now that's added. And from an administration configuration perspective, that's now set up. Just to finalize the process, I need to go into my sales orders and just generate a sales order. Now, the quantity to invoice is not going to be included on the final report because there's still some work to do in the Lasernet developer. But what I'm actually doing here is executing the report. So the quantity to invoice is now included in the XML stream that I'm sending to the Lasernet server. So I can go into Lasernet and open our developer. And here I have the template of the sales order confirmation. And you can see now that my quantity to invoice is included in the XML stream. So by selecting the relevant button, I can select my items. And in this case, this is a title heading. And behind every label, we have a set of attributes. So I just need to tell Lasernet that I want that as a top of my conditional area. And then I can change the position, so I'm just going to give that some coordinates of -5. And then we can also change the type font to 0.8. Once I've got my title on, then I can actually select the amount, the quantity to invoice amount in the relevant XML stream, and drag and place that where I need that to reside on the completed form. So that's now set up, and can save my template. I can close it down. And now, just to finalize that final piece of the developer, I just need to patch the Lasernet server. So we're updating that particular template, and that's the process completed. So just to show you from a demonstration perspective, if I now regenerate that sales order, that's going to include my quantity to invoice on the completed form. There we now have the quantity to invoice. In this example, I want to add a related product image from a non-related table. In a previous video, I created a new document layout so I could add an additional field, which was quantity to invoice. But in this example, I need to add an additional table. So if I add an additional table, and I know that the picture is actually contained in the item table of 27. Now, once I've created my relationship, I need to do some filtering because of course I don't want to bring back all of the related table information on the item table. So in this case, I want to start filtering on item 1, which is the item number, and associate that to the related table of item 6, which again is the item number. So I've created my direct relationship there. Once I've done that, then I can add the particular field that I want to add. And of course, in this case, it's the item picture. Now, I actually don't know where this item picture is stored, so I can actually search for it using Lasernet. And here we can see it's item number 92. So again, from an administration perspective, that's all set up. All I need to do now is execute a sales order confirmation so I can contain that picture in the XML stream, and then I'll go back into the Lasernet developer where I can actually add that picture on our completed form. So that's ready to go. Let's go back into the Lasernet developer, open up our sales order confirmation, and then I just need to download the latest grab file, which is going to contain my base64 string, which I can then add. And here you can see the XML coming through contains my picture encoded into a base64. So we're actually minimizing the file sizes of transmission between Business Central and the Lasernet server. So if I just select the relevant item there, I can pick up my base64 string. And here you can see now I've got the picture which I can drag onto my completed form. Once again, I just need to save this template, close it down, and send a patch to the Lasernet server, which is going to include my updated sales order. Back into Business Central, and let's just re-execute that report. Select Screen Preview, and then you can see here I've completed the process, which is going to include my picture for my item into the completed design. In this demonstration, I want to show you how easy it is to set up multi-channel delivery, which will include an EDI file sent to an FTP site, or it could be a customer gateway adhering to the EU invoicing regulations. So within Business Central, I've gone into my Lasernet setup, and the first thing that I want to do is add an additional custom port. So if we call this FTP Formpipe, and then the file format that I want to send to the FTP is an EDI file. That's now set up. If I just go back in and show you the customer card, with Lasernet we can actually extend this to include our default destinations of where we want to send our content. So here you can see I've opened up the Canon group, and we've now got a section called Lasernet. You can see that I've already set up a default destination for the sales order, so this is set up to send an email. But at the same time, what I want to do is make use of that custom port for the sales order. And if we select the print method of custom port, and we had a number of custom ports set up, so I just want to send this to the FTP site. Now, just to show you the actual workflow in the Lasernet developer, I've already configured an FTP output containing the connection settings, so everything's set up ready to go. All I need to do now from a user's perspective is actually go and execute a sales order report for the Canon group. So let's just go into sales orders. Select the Canon group. And then if we actually print a sales order off, print confirmation. Now I've got my default destinations select as default. So I click on OK. Now it's Lasernet in the background actually taking care of that distribution that we've set up. So just to show you from start to finish, if we actually go into our Lasernet archive now, you can see that the system's telling us that we've sent an email to the correct email address. And if I just click on this item, you can see where we've actually sent the email, but also at the same time, we've generated an EDI file. So if we just look at the actual EDI file itself, let's just save that file, and then we can open it up. So as I've suggested, we've now created multi-channel distribution, sending an email, but also sending an EDI file off to an FTP site. Equally, this could be a government gateway. In this final example, I want to show you how easy it is to configure multiple language emails with relevant language associated attachments. And this could be based on the customer language code contained within Business Central. The first area that I've clicked on is my report setup, and for the sales order, you can see that I've attached two separate language variant attachments. Now these attachments, if I just click into it, this is Danish terms and conditions in a Word format. And then if we just look at the second option that we've configured, we've selected to attach our English translated terms and conditions, again based on the customer language code within Business Central. So if I just now go into my setup again, and if I select miscellaneous and email templates, again we've got two different setups for the sales order. So if I just modify this is the English language template. So you can see that I've got English language in the mail body, but also containing some placeholders. So we can pull through variable information, in this case the customer's name, and also the sales order confirmation. And just to show you the Danish version, if we click into that, and then if I click modify, you can see we've created a Danish version equally of the language contained within the body of the actual email. So let's put that to the test. Let's go into our sales orders. Now I know for the Canon Group, this is actually a UK based customer. So if I go to send an email, you can see the resulting email is actually in the English language, but also we've attached the relevant language variant of the terms and conditions. If I go into my hi-fi shop and rerun this, select my email confirmation, you can see this time we have a translated version within the email body, again including the relevant language variant of the terms and conditions. So very simple process to set up with Lasernet in combination with Business Central.